Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how I painted this collie dog in pastels. I like to start with the background. I find it easier to put it in first, and then I usually move on to the eyes. I'm using Clairefontaine pastel matte paper, and I'm using Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils. I love these. I find they have a really good in-between hard and soft, which is perfect for doing small little details like small bits of fur, whiskers, and in the eyes, nose and mouth, where you really want that nice detail. I pre-drew my dog out in white pastel pencil. This is so that I can see where all the highlights are going to be, especially in the eyes and around the fur, where I want the direction of fur to be. It's a really good idea to do this. I'm just layering the colours up on the eyes. This dog's got very dark eyes, but I started with a light colour, gradually getting darker, and then going back in with light very softly with the pencil to give that glazed, glassy eye effect. Now this might seem strange, but I've started doing this dog's nose in blue. Don't worry, it won't always be blue, it's just the undercolour, because the dog's nose is very cool, and if I start with blue I'm going to get that shine through when I eventually go darker. I've kept the white sheen on the top of the dog's nose and a bit around the nostrils so that I don't lose focus on where they are. There are parts of the nose that are warmer, so I'm using purple before I go in with the black. Because I used blue and purple, that's now going to make my black much darker, so we get that nose to really pop. There's a lot of shading underneath the nose, where the shadow of the nose hits the top lip. I'm getting that sheen over the top of the nose, really lightly with my white pastel pencil, just going in, doing little dots and little bits, so that it really looks like the sun is hitting the top of his nose. I've started on the mouth with a pink underlayer. I'm going to layer this up with lots of purples and blacks and reds and whites all the time, shading and using my finger to soften it and going back in with white and the darks. There's a lot of shadow underneath the mouth at the back. In fact, it looks really quite black in some places, so I will layer this gradually as I'm going along. It's important to remember you can use hard and light pressure with your pencils to get the effect that you desire. For instance, at the back of the mouth I can use the pencil really hard because I want that really, really dark, and then as I'm getting nearer to the tip of the tongue I'm going to just be a bit lighter and really blend those colours in. Now our dog's mouth is really coming together. I've spent a lot of time shading it and making it just right. I feel that the nose and the mouth are now the focal point of the rest of the painting, so I'll be going on to start creating the fur. I'm starting with shading now. I'm putting a lot of dark under the dog's nose. This is where the shadow from his nose lays, and then around the muzzle and under the chin there's a lot of shading too. It's just shadow really, but obviously it makes the fur stand out all the more, especially when you go to put lighter fur on top. It's always important to do darker shading first. This is where my initial drawing comes in handy. I'm glad I did those white lines because I can see where the direction of the fur is going, and it's easier to do my shading this way, and always referring to the reference photo so that I know I'm getting it just right. Some of the dog's white fur has a lot of shades of blue and pink in it, so I'm marking those out as well, especially under the chin and around the side of the face. I'm using chalk now, so the pastels are soft pastel chalks, and these are really great for getting that fur effect in. A lot of the dog's fur on the front of the chest is sort of curly, and I'm really sort of twisting my pastel to make that sort of curly fur effect. And I'm not using just white, I'm using tan and sort of an apricot colour as well, to get all those different hues and shades in that white fur. Now I've got a lot of my shading in the white fur, I'm using a white pastel chalk to really bring out that bright white fur around the bottom of the dog's mouth. This has made his mouth area project even more, so it really looks like it's coming out of the picture. Now I have most of my white in, I'm going to start with the black side. But again, I'm using a sort of dark blue first, so that I can get my blacks really dark. I've left areas where I want to highlight, so I haven't gone over these so much. After I've got some black in, I went back in to warm it up with some brown. That dark black on the left hand side is really looking good now. It's looking really nice and dark. I use my finger a lot as well, just to blend out those edges to make them soft, and finding any other little bits while I have my black and brown that I can just add softly and touch up. All the little tufts around the top of his ear and around the sides, and I want to keep those soft so that they have a kind of diffused look. I'm using my pencil again now to create tiny hairs, these little hairs that come from the white into the black. You can get some really lovely fine detail, and these hairs are really important because they split up the white from the black. I will also use white or creamy colour pencil as well to soften those and get some highlights in to the dense black. This makes his fur look really shiny and glossy. I'm putting tiny white hairs in where I put that shading under his nose before. Really tiny little hairs. Finally finishing off our portrait with the last little touches of whiskers and fine hairs. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial and learned some tips along the way. I will be posting more soon. Thank you for watching.